We're driving a 2024 Lexus TX. It is a mid-size 3-row premium SUV.
Here's how much it costs.
Can you do that one more time with less food in your mouth?
Here's how much it costs.
Coming up, should you buy this instead of the Lexus TX's cheaper platform mate, the Toyota Grand Highlander? But first, interior.
The interior is not flashy. Even the bits of color in here are very subtle, but it does feel nice.
As you get farther into the back, things do get pretty plasticky. We'll talk about the third row a little bit more in a second. But yeah, up here, a lot of soft surfaces. Oh, even over here where my knees land.
The thing I really like about this interior is the amount of storage. 2 sauce pockets for the passenger. You can fit a large cup in an upright position in the door. The passenger gets this under console storage.
Oh, and then there's the phone zone.
You can slide it out of the way.
That really is a good secret storage spot because I didn't realize this vehicle had that for like the first day I was driving. Adjacent USB-C ports. Center console storage, by the way, is very deep, and we've got this split armrest situation so you can open your side without bothering me on mine. And now, a point of controversy, the cup holders, the cup holders. I know. I read a think piece about the cup holders. Somebody spent valuable time writing a story about how stupid these square cup holders are. Lexus, don't you know that cups are round? Yeah, they are round. But we've got these little springy mechanisms that hold it in place. It doesn't matter if it's square or circular. These cup holders, in my experience, and perhaps in yours, have worked just fine.
There's this simple to press unlock button, and it's removable. So you can have this large area to store a giant tub of yogurt if you're a Micah Muzio. I did have a little bit of trouble snapping them in.
It's because you're too gentle. You got to find your inner Micah Muzio. Also, there may be a competence angle happening here. There we go, see? Despite some internet controversy, the cup holders work just fine. For seat comfort, this is kind of a classic Toyota Lexus situation, a real lack of pressure points, and I appreciate that I'm getting good lateral support in the shoulder region. And in the trim we're driving, we've got great adjustability. Go to the second row, I fit fine. We've got slide and recline functionality. I always want to kind of go between my knees to do the slide. That's not how it works here. This is akin to what you find in the Toyota Grand Highlander. It's on the outside, adjacent to another control that you will probably mix up the two of them every once in a while. Nonetheless, a good range of adjustability. And then we've got an adult-worthy third row. Unlike the Toyota Grand Highlander, which shares the same platform as the Lexus TX, and it can seat 3 in that rear seat, this only seats 2. The result is more roomy seats.
Like first class in a plane.
Not that you would know what that's like. Kiddo, were you comfortable sitting in the third row?
1 second. Food mouth.
No, take your time. They can wait.
I love waiting for my daughter to finish chewing.
Do you want to talk about the third row now? Are you ready?
Yeah.
What did you think about sitting in the third row?
I think it was nice and roomy. There was an easy grab handle to reach. Well, it's hard to find, but...
Yeah, once you know it's there, it's easy to grab onto. Also, I like the fact that the foot-to-butt ratio is favorable for an adult, but the floor is high enough that your feet hit the ground without issue. That's something I also noticed in the second row. You're probably going to put a kid in that middle position. Having a little bit of a raised hump makes it more likely that their feet are going to touch down rather than just having to kind of spring outward into the void. There are 7 USB ports. There are also 7 seats in the version that we're driving, but if you go to either the hybrid trims or the higher versions of the gasoline TX, then it's only 6 seats. So if you need seating for 8 in your 3-row midsize SUV, look elsewhere. One more question, kiddo. How'd you find climbing in for the second row? Was it low enough for you?
Yep. And the door opened wide, and there was a footstep. I did that all with food in my mouth.
Great, we've established the theme of the video. What you eating?
Goldfish.
Swimming to the cargo area, we've got 20.2 cubic feet behind the third row. Good for the category, not best in class. In fact, the Grand Highlander, which I keep mentioning. And now it's starting to feel like
you love the Grand Highlander.
Like I love the Grand Highlander. Like, you know how Christopher Nolan has a younger brother who's actually a very successful director and writer?
No idea.
Exactly. Plenty of space behind the third row for a family of our size or much larger. The trim we have has the power-operated third row seats. They power down and up. I am an impatient man, so I oftentimes don't like waiting for them to do that. Not a lot of underfloor storage, although I do like the fact that there is space for the cargo covers. If you want to drop the second row seat, you have to pull up one lever and then pull the other lever. I think about the Kia Telluride. If you want to get in and out, it's just a single push button, and if you want to drop the seat, you just pull a lever. Forgot to mention, you've got a standard power liftgate, and it comes standard with a foot activation feature.
Watch out, I'm gonna get some gum.
Continuing the theme of what are you eating, we've moved to gum now.
I'll tell you how easy it is to snap in that booster while I drink liquid.
Wait, what kind of liquid is it?
It's a bubbly. Seriously though, the latch points are exposed and very easy to snap in the booster. And in the third row, there are latch points in both seats that are hidden but easy to access.
As for safety, the NHTSA hasn't rated the Lexus TX, and the IIHS hasn't completed their testing. They've done like a couple of parts, but they're like not done. I like to imagine the IIHS, you know, that vacation holiday. Yeah, people in lab coats with glasses and clipboards going on a water slide. Getting back to the vehicle we're reviewing, it has a full suite of active driver assist technology. Family, what do we think? Is the Lexus TX family friendly?
With a base price of over $50,000, it is rich family friendly.
Rear window test. All the way down. Yay! Armrest test. Driving in a comfortable 8 and 4. I had easy access to the inboard and outboard armrest, and there is a pretty solid squish factor happening right here. Gush, gush, gush. Squish, squish, squish. 85% inboard, 90% outboard. Hey, would you like to see more videos like this where we review cars as a family, plus the occasional helicopter adventure? If so, you are welcome to subscribe. Style!
The Lexus TX is handsome, but kind of simply styled. That front grille,
The spindle grille.
I think it's so interesting how well it's integrated into the rest of the vehicle.
It's almost like the spindle grille is slowly disappearing, like Marty McFly's hand in Back to the Future.
Yes!
Whatever happened to that spindle grille? There's a little bit of a sharpness to the headlights.
And how the rear taillights go up, almost like little devil horns, but like handsome.
I always hope that that's in the design brief. They're like, we have to do something with little devil horns. They're very popular this year. To me, I would describe the TX's style as Lexus-y. It just kind of looks like what it is. It's not a bold statement, but not everybody wants a big, bold statement. So
True.
we think it's good looking, but maybe it could have gone a little farther. What do you guys think? Do you like the look of the Lexus TX? If so, if no, tell us in the comment section. In motion! Ride quality is comfortable and well controlled. Over big bumps, the body settles down quickly, but what I've noticed is that harder impacts are more pronounced than I would expect, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're riding on 22-inch wheels. Less sidewall, more road feel. From a steering perspective, not a lot of fun to be had. It definitely skews more towards confident and predictable rather than lively and playful. They've got one gasoline engine and then a hybrid option and then a plug-in hybrid option, and the hybrids are the powerful ones. But let's see what kind of power we have. I'm doing 30-ish miles an hour right now. Floored. Whee! So we got a quick downshift there from the transmission, and there's good solid pull. From a stop, we don't have that immediate power. Floored. There we go. We have a turbocharged engine, and it just takes a beat for that boost to spool up. I mentioned the transmission. For the most part, it works fine, but every once in a while, I'll feel a shift. I'm like, should I notice that as much as I am noticing that? For this category of vehicle, truly transparent shifts where you don't feel a change in G would be a little bit more appropriate. And I've experienced a few moments where that's not the case. There's no drive mode selector in here, so you have to push a button, and then you go into drive modes here. And I've heard other people in my industry complain about like, oh, I have to go into this screen and push a button instead of having a thing. Most people will leave this in normal all the time, so they've cleaned up the dash a little bit. And if you need to access it, did you see how easy it was to get in there? Look, I'm in sport mode now, and now I'm in eco. Wow. One last note, I picked this vehicle up at nighttime, and I noticed that with lane trace assist active, the steering wheel was kind of like sawing back and forth to keep me in the lane, and there was one moment where it just straight steered out of the lane. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I tried it again during the daytime, and it was fine. So I think there is a visual component to lane trace assist accuracy that is very much dependent upon ambient light. That's what I think about driving the Lexus TX. But what does Sweetie think? Here we are in another Lexus product, and you got that little joystick-like drive selector. Can you get us in drive without drama? Yay! How you feeling about that?
I'll just have to bring the drama in other ways.
Man, if we devolved into a Real Housewife dynamic.
Oh boy.
Oh no, white wine in my face. I talked about how this isn't an exciting vehicle to drive, and oftentimes the ones that I find to be a little bit dull, you love, because they're very, very predictable. How do you find driving this?
Predictable, but not in a way that's even exciting to me.
The mistake would be viewing a family-friendly premium SUV through the lens of driving excitement, and that is not what we're doing here. For the buyer, who might very well be somebody like you, this is very appropriate.
Agreed.
Now, floor it. Whee! How did that feel off the line?
There was a slight bit of hesitation, but then it moved forward in a way that I found reassuring.
That hesitation, would that be concerning to you?
Not concerning.
Now can we move to something where I think you might be concerned?
Yes.
The brakes?
Ooh, this was a real learning curve with me for the brakes. I had several times where I stopped farther than I wanted to. It might be that this is pretty easy to drive, and so I'm not conscientious of all the weight involved here because it is a 3-row SUV.
The limiting factor with brakes, unless you've just gotten them very, very hot, is traction. And I guarantee you are not at the limit of traction with the tires. So what I think is happening, if I may do so, is the brakes have this wooden feel. That feedback you're getting, it feels really hard, so it seems like you're braking hard, but you are not.
Well, that's good to know. I will push harder.
Well, let's try that out. Kiddo, mommy's gonna brake hard. Ready, set, and hard. Hard, 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 hard. Plenty of braking, right?
Yes, that was a speedy stop.
The key point there is that it's important for vehicles to be tuned in a way that encourages people to get out of it what they need to get out of it. With all that on the table, if we were in the market for a premium 3-row mid-size SUV, are there any game killers that would keep you from driving a Lexus TX?
Now that we've figured out the brake situation, I would absolutely drive a Lexus TX.
That's what Evie thinks. I'm getting back in the driver's seat. In total, the Lexus TX drives like an inoffensive mid-size premium SUV. It's what you'd expect. Onward to remarks. Infotainment. We've got a standard 14-inch screen, and I kind of like how the screen peeks out through these little knobs here. It also includes Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wireless standard.
This is organized in a way that's very easy to find my way around. I like that there's a physical volume knob.
Oftentimes we prefer physical controls for the climate controls, but it's pretty simple, to be honest. Most times you just need to rotate a knob to make it the temperature you want and let auto figure it out. I'm also a fan of the optional 360-degree camera system, and it's got that cool thing where it'll cache imagery, so it gives you this quasi under the vehicle view. Over here there's a standard 7-inch or optional 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, and that works great. Oh, and we should use the Hey Lexus function.
How can I help you?
Can you turn my temperature up?
Setting the driver's temperature to 73 degrees.
Stay classy. Now, one bit of technology I'm not a fan of is the optional head-up display, which is included in the technology package. The reason I don't like it is not because of the head-up display, it's because it comes paired with these steering wheel controls that have no labels on them. You're supposed to look at the head-up display and it'll tell you what you're controlling. I would rather be looking at the road than looking at the imagery that's in the road. And then also, because I drive in a 9 and 3 position and sometimes speedily, I oftentimes will catch the edge of this with my thumb, and then it's changing what's in my view while I'm driving. It just did a bad job for me. But you know what never does a bad job for me? Flying eye sunglasses. If you're curious how their patented Resilimide construction makes them the lightest, most comfortable eyewear you'll ever wear, especially under a headset or helmet, click the link in the description below. One other thing I noticed is that we don't have the Lexus equivalent of Driver Easy Speak, the feature that amplifies the driver's voice to people in the back seat. That seems like a little bit of a missed opportunity. Now, in the beginning of the video, we teased we were going to tell you whether you should buy a Lexus TX instead of its much cheaper platform mate, the Toyota Grand Highlander. For your extra expense, what do you get with the Lexus TX? You get nicer materials inside, you get Lexus TX styling on the outside, 10 more horsepower from the turbocharged engine, but it is not a fundamentally different experience than we had in driving the Toyota Grand Highlander. And the base price is $9,000 higher about in the Lexus TX. Our time in the TX was also slightly undermined by a few little issues here and there. That door trim on the outside that was just sort of weird. The center console kind of squeaks when you push on it. And also we had a constant error message in the gauge cluster. Nothing major probably, but just
For our family, we'd probably go with the Grand Highlander, but we are not fancy.
But you already knew that, didn't you?
We're adventurous.
Yeah, look at us being adventurous and rugged. All right, let's talk engine choices. There's a base 2.4 liter turbocharged engine. That's the one we've got here. If you want all-wheel drive, that'll cost you an extra $1,600. And it comes with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Then there's the TX 500. That's a hybrid. It only comes with all-wheel drive. At the top of the lineup, there's a plug-in V6 hybrid called the TX 550H Plus. 33 miles of pure electric range and big power. So with any of the engines, it's a max of 5,000 pounds.
Sweetie,
Yes, my love.
will you share our trim recommendation?
With more passion than I have ever mustered anything in my life.
Get ready.
Well, prepare to be disappointed. Our trim recommendation is which trim will give you the essential features you would regret not getting, but at the lowest possible price. We're going to suggest the base trim. It includes power, heated front seats, smart key access, and there's even a sensor on the back doors, wireless phone charging, and that big 14-inch infotainment screen. All the essentials you need, $55,050. If you're feeling ready to buy a Lexus TX of your very own, click the Kelley Blue Book pricing link in the description below to see what your current car is worth for trade-in and what you should pay for a Lexus TX. As for competitors, you can get the Acura MDX for less. You can spend more to get an Audi Q7, and there's the Volvo XC90, which starts at a roughly similar price as the Lexus TX. Did we miss any remarks? If so, tell us in the comments section. And now it is our daughter's time to shine. Child, can you tell us what is your favorite feature of the Lexus TX?
The little button you push to open the door.
Why do you like it?
It's kind of satisfying.
With a reach-through grab handle, I kind of wish I could just pull it, but there's a good reason to have that little button. It integrates with the Safe Exit Assist feature because you've got electronic releases. You also have them on the inside, and if you push this button and you're about to get out and a car's ripping by you, it will delay the opening of the door. That's safe. And you love safety, right?
It's true. Like when I first started using these, I hated them. And then you told me they were for safety, and now I love them.
Safety, safety, safety.
Safety.
The lamest chant ever. Family, I think we've done a good job reviewing the Lexus TX. May I have a 5 and a 5? And you, come get your high five. Bam!
Now you go get a snack.
What's in your mouth?